Are you looking for the best 3D printer for miniatures? In this video, we will look at some of the 5 best 3D printer on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Anycubic Photon Mono 4K Resin 3D Printer. The original Anycubic Photon Mono caused quite a stir when it was introduced, with new levels of performance from an affordable 3D resin printer. Now the higher resolution 4K version delivers even more detail, and for 3D miniatures, there is no better printer for the money. The 6.23-inch monochrome screen has a resolution of 3840 by 2400 pixels, or 727 ppi. Horizontal precision is 35 microns. Combine that with a layer height of just 10 microns and the result is class-leading detail. The high contrast ratio, the difference between exposed and unexposed pixels, makes for particularly crisp edges and corners. This device is quite fast too, with a maximum speed of up to 50 mm, 2 inches per hour. The machine comes ready to use, just requiring leveling. The touchscreen panel is easy to use, and the free Photon Workshop software provides all the necessary control. There is little to fault about the Anycubic Photon Mono 4K. It isn't the easiest introduction to printing 3D miniatures for beginners, but that's true of any resin printer. This one is more straightforward than many. Problems with the machine are rare, but unfortunately a number of buyers found the company very slow to respond when issues have occurred. At number 2. Elegoo Mars 2 Pro Mono MSLA 3D Printer. Those people looking at budget-friendly 3D printers for creating miniatures will certainly want to consider the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro. Experts often compare it with our top pick, the Anycubic Photon Mono 4K, and the two are separated by relatively small differences. The print screen on the Elegoo is 6.08 inches with 2K resolution, giving 2560 by 1620 pixels, though ppi, pixels per inch, is not quoted. Vertical pixels are 10 microns, which is typical of many resin 3D printers, and horizontal pixels are 50 microns. While the statistics aren't as impressive as 4K machines, in real-world use the differences in detail are actually quite small. The definition on finished models is not as high as some other 4K printers can provide, but you have to look closely to see the difference. The printer's speed is a competitive maximum of 50 mm, 2 inches per hour. As with many competitors, the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro comes ready to run except for leveling. The 3.5-inch touchscreen is easy to use, and the supplied software comes from leading independent developer, Cheetahbox. This printer also comes with active carbon filters that do much to absorb the unpleasant smells that resin 3D printing produces. For safety, you should still allow plenty of ventilation. The filters do seem a little fiddly to replace, and the fans are a bit loud, but these are minor complaints. The Elegoo Mars 2 Pro produces very good 3D miniatures, and for gamers looking to save money, it is a viable alternative. At number 3. Creality Ender 3v2 3D Printer. Let's get the negatives out of the way first. When compared to even the lowest resolution 2K resin printers, a filament printer like the Creality Ender 3v2 provides noticeably lower definition. Layers are thicker, and although nozzles as fine as 20 microns are available, they can never capture the same detail. Additionally, like most filament 3D printers, the Creality Ender 3v2 requires extensive assembly that will take at least a couple of hours. You might wonder why we would recommend this machine as among the best 3D printers for the beginners to start miniature modeling. There are several reasons. Filament 3D printing is much more forgiving than resin. While proper ventilation is still important, the filament itself is non-toxic and it's also cheaper than resin. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, Creality has renowned customer support to help people overcome any problems, and there is also a huge online community for learners to take advantage of. The Creality Ender 3v2 has a considerably larger build volume than its resin-based rivals, thus providing greater versatility when it comes to the type and size of model that can be created. It is not the best 3D printer for miniatures if you're an experienced, full-on gaming enthusiast, but for beginners and those playing with family and friends, it could be the ideal choice. At number 4. Anycubic Photon Mono X 6K Resin 3D Printer. For the keen 3D miniature maker, everything about the Anycubic Photon Mono X 6K is impressive. It's in effect a major upgrade to our top pick, the 4K model. The screen is larger at 9.25 inches and the resolution is 5750 x 3600 pixels. Horizontal pixels are just 34 microns, the smallest in its class. It's fast too, printing at up to 80 mm, 3.15 inches per hour. The result when printing 3D miniatures is an outstanding amount of fine detail, particularly for faces, hair, fur, dragon scales, etc. What's more, the extra build volume allows for larger figures, modest-sized pieces of terrain, or for several small models to be printed at the same time. All with the same high definition. The price will take this printer out of the reach of some 3D miniature modelers, but for others, the quality of the finished pieces will be worth the investment. It does take patience to set up properly, and while faults are few, buyers have the same complaints about poor customer support from the company as they do with the 4K model. At number 5. Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K LCD Resin 3D Printer. The Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K is a direct competitor for the Anycubic Photon 4K, and makes a strong argument as the best 3D printer for miniatures. They are frequently the top 2 in independent reviews. While the Anycubic model takes our top spot for its combination of quality and value, the Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K has a definite advantage when it comes to speed. Its screen size is 6.1 inches, and in this case 4K resolution is 3840 x 2160 pixels with 722 ppi. Horizontal pixels are 35 microns, and layer height is 10 microns. Technically the Phrozen and the Anycubic have almost identical print specification, and the detail for 3D miniature printing is excellent. However, the Phrozen can run at an impressive 80 mm, 3.15 inches per hour, which is around a 30% improvement over its closest rival. As is typical, the Phrozen Sonic Mini 4K only needs leveling before printing can start. It has a clear LCD for many functions, and comes with industry-standard Chitabox software. The Phrozen does have a slightly smaller build volume than the 4K Anycubic, but we doubt buyers of either 3D printer would be disappointed.